Hey friends, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time, our time of the week where we just chat about whatever. Might be related to arts and crafts, might not. Who can say? Who can say? This week has been I won't say pretty exciting, but I did leave the house a few times, which is fun. Last weekend, last Saturday, we went to the library book sale. It was going to be the last day of the book sale, and I will share, because I did find some really cool crafty books, so I'm going to share those with you next week in a little haul. But like all the softcover books are 50 cents and hardcover books were $1, so it's kind of a no-brainer. That way, and it was so funny because there were a few books there for sale that were ones that I almost borrowed, but I don't know if I'm a slow reader or I'm overambitious and I borrow too many books, but yeah, I'm always late to return them. And so I'm like, oh, I'll buy those up and I don't have to worry about getting them back. And then by the time I'm done reading them, I can probably donate them back to the library book sale next year. And then they can just, the circle of book life, it can go on. And then I can keep from getting too completely cluttered here. The chairs I was telling you about, I think it was in last week's Sat Chat or the Sat Chat before, you know. So, okay. It's funny because I'll go visit friends, right? Or they show me their houses for the first time and it looks like actual adults live there. And you come to my house and it looks like, you know, it looks like a frat house sometimes. I'm telling you, I totally need to clean. After I'm done filming Sat Chat, I have got to like dust and vacuum. It's awful. But anyway, so we had 4 Windsor chairs and we had 2 random chairs that were like my mother-in-law's in the kitchen. So we couldn't find 2 more Windsor chairs, but I found some on Amazon, so I ordered them. And I thought they were going to come assembled. That's just what I expected. Like, that's what they show in the picture. 2 chairs. They're just going to ploop off the truck, and I'll just put them in the kitchen. And that was not the case. So I came upstairs the other day. I was done work for the day, and I see Lila and Jason in the living room with very, very frowny faces, and and various chair parts scattered about, and yeah, apparently Amazon is not the place to buy your fine furniture. I value my marriage too much to ever order any unassembled furniture on Amazon again. But they look okay. They're just not really, they're not really seat worthy yet. I think Jason needed to get a few more parts to put in them, but they look very similar to what we already have that we got at Target for like way less, which was like the whole ironic part. We bought them, the chairs we have now, we bought from Target. We bought 6, but 2 of them just, you know, kids are hard on furniture. They just didn't survive. And I'm pretty sure they were $45 a piece. Jason thinks we paid $15 a piece for those chairs. Like, I don't know, back when the kids were toddlers, maybe before they were born. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But anyway, the ones from Amazon were like $60 each, and they were not as good as the Target ones, but Target didn't have them anymore. Anyway, so there's that. And speaking of marriage, Jason and I celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary this week, and the oven died. So I don't know if, like, you know how like every year has like a thing, like your first year is paper, your second year is foil. I don't know, that each year has something. I'm thinking 20 years must be stove, because I think we're gonna have to get a new stove. Or maybe it's just the element. I don't know, but we have replaced the bottom element in our oven like at least 2 or 3 times. So, and it seems like the last time we replaced it wasn't that long ago. So I don't know what's going on. But I went to, I was making pizza the other day, and I took your advice, guys. I used my bread maker to do the dough because I knew we weren't gonna have a full crowd for dinner. So, so I did that, and I could do like 3 pizzas worth in there. And I'm getting all set to bake it. So I turn on the oven to preheat it, and I'm like, geez, the oven doesn't seem to be getting very warm. It's warm, but it wasn't hot. I'm like, what is going on? And the bottom element wasn't glowing at all. I'm like, well, that is strange. So I put my hand in there and I could feel heat coming off the broiler, but nothing off the bottom. And it wasn't like, I mean, because the oven is like analog. I guess it's got dials. It doesn't have like, it's not digital. And we got it before we were married. So the stove is over 20 years old. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to do. I've got the dough already. I made a heart-shaped pizza for my husband for his. It was actually on our anniversary day. And I'm like, oh man, what a bummer if I burn like his favorite food on our anniversary. That's like bad. That's a bad omen, I think. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? So I turned the broiler on because the broiler was working. And I mean, I've never broiled anything on purpose in my entire life. I don't know if anyone ever broils something on purpose, but I'm like, I can heat the oven up that way. So I turn on the broiler. And then I put the pizza dough on pans and I put them in without anything on the pizza dough, and I cook them. And then, and I put a pan on the top rack of the oven so it wouldn't get too much heat on the dough. And then after about 5 minutes, I flipped it and put it back into cook. I'm telling you, that looked so good when I flipped it. I'm like, I could put garlic and olive oil on that, and I think it would be absolutely delicious. But I cooked the other side, and then, and I had to kind of keep like juggling pizzas because I couldn't fit. I could fit 2 on the rectangle pans in there at once, but I could only fit 1 on the round pizza pan, which was the heart-shaped pizza. And so it was kind of like this pizza juggling. And but anyways, everything got cooked. It was delicious. So yes, you can broil a pizza. You just have to really keep your eyes on it and use the lower rack. And yeah, just make sure you keep an eye on it because things cook so much faster with a broiler. I don't know. One of us, I can't remember who it was, but there was a broiled cake on accident in our house once. And I'm trying to think what else. The only time I've ever used the broiler has been when I turned the dial too far and the broiler turned on instead of the bottom element. But anyways, so gotta figure out. I'm hoping that if next time I turn the oven on, it will just miraculously work. We had a power outage that day, and I think that might have maybe that just like blew a fuse or something. But it's funny that like the stove top works just fine. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. I don't think you can see the top of my head. There we go. Have my head cut off. Yeah, so I don't know, the other parts of the oven work, it's just that bottom element, and we have replaced them before. And of course, you know, a $15 element's much better than a $500 oven, but and then I was looking, like, how long do electric ovens last, and Google said 15 years, 13, no, it said 13 years is what you can expect an electric stove to last. I'm like, seriously? Let me know what you think in the comments. I think a stove should last until you're sick of it, or at least 25 years, wouldn't you think? I mean, 13 years, that's a huge chunk of metal and electronics and stuff to only last 13 years. I don't know, but yeah, I always Google stuff. It's like, if you lose the power, can that mess up your oven? And apparently it can blow fuses. I don't know if there's a fuse on there or not, but yeah, probably check it out. I think there's a lot of shortages right now too with like ovens and appliances and things like that. So it's probably not the best time to have to go shopping for one. Or I could just get really good at broiling. I could write a cookbook on vegan broiler cooking. By the way, the green beans I made from that, oh shoot, that's right, I haven't posted that video yet. I bought this cookbook at the book sale for $1, and it was a Super Fun Times vegan holiday cookbook, and there was like Chinese New Year recipes, like it had like all the holidays with the recipes that went with them, and it was these string beans, kind of like you get at the Chinese restaurant, and they came out really good. So anyway, I'll have that information on Wednesday, I think is when I'm posting that. On Monday, I have a review for the Rosa watercolors. Let me turn my light down here so you can see. And I did a chart with those. Let's see, is that going to be bright enough? I think so. So I did a chart, and I really love some of these colors. I don't know if it's going to show up well enough on this with this lighting here, but man, I just want to show you that because I'm posting the review Monday. The 12 set of Rosa watercolors, I'm a big, I give it 10 out of 10 stars. They're wonderful, and I don't know if Amazon's going to jack the price up on these after the review goes up, because sometimes they do that and it's really aggravating because when I'm reviewing something, I'm keeping in mind what I paid for it, and I paid $15.90 for that, and the price has dropped down to like $13.99. Fantastic deal, but you know, if they jack the price up to $50, then you know, that annoys me because it's like, well, I might be a little, you know, have a different opinion if it's that much more money, you know what I mean? Like, hey, these are great if you need them, I won't rush out and buy them, you know, but if, you know, when you can get like really stable light fast paints for not very much money, I mean, you could buy them to like refill your palettes when you run out, or just have them to, you know, to replace in your palettes when you're running out. So anyway, so currently they're $14 a set, and they are a steal of a deal. So I'll try to remember to link that down below in case you're curious about those. But I just want to let you know because I know some of you guys have been waiting for the review, and if the prices jack up, I don't want you to be, you know, miss out on getting the good deal. Okay, what else? What did I actually put on my list? I did post a review on the Brute Fooner 520 pencil set. I've used them more since I did the review. I still go by what I say in my review, but I do have to say that I think it's one of those things, like the more you leave them out and you use them, the more you like them. Like I used them to refine some of this watercolor sketch here, and They worked really well. They worked really well. I mean, I still stand by what I said in the review, but I kind of was feeling that maybe I was a little harsh. I didn't want to come across as negative or harsh, but I just really wanted to not be critical. What's the word? I want to be very in depth. Yeah, it's a lot of money to spend. I think the more money something costs, the more not critical, the more you really have to look into it and make sure it's, it's worth it. But anyway, yeah, I was using the more watercolors, and on that particular paper it worked really well. It's so funny how a different paper can make your opinion of a pencil or a watercolor paint be different, just because paints and papers and pencils and papers react differently. Oh, something else is coming up, and I don't know if it's listed yet, but if it is, I'll link to it. But I've got another free class coming out for on michaels.com. It's going to be this fall landscape, August 26th at 1 p.m. I'm not sure if it's 1 p.m. Eastern or Central, but as soon as I have information of when that's happening, I will post it. Let's see, hopefully that shows up a little bit better. And it's just going to be a relaxing little autumn landscape here. I do have a pattern, so you can actually transfer it onto your watercolor paper. You can either ink it or you can leave it just pencil and then decide at the end if you want to ink it. I inked mine afterwards on this one here because I wasn't sure if I was going to want to ink it or not, but then I was like, I think that would look really cute to have the pen lines on there. So anyway, that's going to be a free hour-long class with Michaels and Derwent using the Derwent watercolor pencils. And you can use, you can use Inktense, you can use whatever watercolor pencils you have. But I think that'll be a nice fun little fall landscape. Not that I'm wishing fall to be here because I love summer, although it's been like the second rainiest summer on record here, and I feel bad complaining about that when there are places that literally need the rain. But man, I really need some sunshine. It was sunny this morning when I walked the dog, which is good, but it was also a little chilly, so I had like long pants and long sleeves on. So I don't know if I got enough vitamin D. I feel like my vitamin D levels have been like tanking. I felt that little bit of like this little gloomy feeling. I don't really know how to describe it very well, except it's just kind of like, it feels like little bubbles of anxiety and gloom, in my chest. And I think it's just lack of vitamin D, not having the sunshine, not walking outside and just feeling that that warmth of the sun on my skin. It really seems to get to me. And it's like I need to store it up. I need to store up as much as I can during the summer so that I'll have it when winter comes along and I can parse it out a little bit. I'm telling you, I've got to figure out a way to bottle a summer's day and then just crack it open in the middle of winter without having to fly somewhere, It would be nice if we could do something like that. Let's see. I'm just seeing if I have anything else that I haven't mentioned yet. I can't believe we're only 12 minutes in. I feel like I've been like chatting forever. So I did make it to the farmer's market last weekend and got the vegan donut, and it was delicious. I got there, it was like it was pouring, it was raining, surprise, and it was right after they opened, and there was a humongous line at the vegan donut place, and then I saw there was a vegan bread place next door, and there was a huge line at that too. So priorities, friends. I got the donut line, and the donut that I was looking forward to, they still had them in stock. So, and it was good. It was raspberry and cream. And I wish it was filled. It wasn't filled. It was like the raspberry and cream, and it was almost like a frosting kind of was on top. And it was delicious, very delicious. But they also had one that surprisingly I think might have been my favorite. It was a yeast donut, and it had I think they were saying it was cinnamon, but it didn't taste like cinnamon to me. It tasted like maple syrup, kind of like maple syrup. It was very light. It was really good. I had maybe it was a maple glaze or something like that. I thought it was cinnamon, but it could have been that one was sold out and that's the one I got instead. I'm not sure, but that was really good. There was also some chocolate ones, but I'm not a big fan of the chocolate cakey donuts apparently because they're just very dense, and compared to the really light and airy vanilla yeasty ones, they're really good. So I bought 4 and then kind of cut them up so we could try. Okay, that's kind of a lie. I let people have a bite of the raspberry one, but I'm like, I'm having the raspberry one. That's what I've been looking forward to for weeks, and it was very good. And I did go to yoga last week, which I don't think yoga's for me. Sometimes when you go and you do something and it's like, wow, the time flies by, you're having so much fun that you can't even believe like an hour has passed. That's not the case with yoga. I felt it was an hour-long class, and they did a great job. The instructors were fantastic, but it seemed like 3 hours, in yoga time. I was just like, oh, we're still doing this. We're still doing this pose. We're still holding. I was just very, I was kind of bored, but because I don't think it's for me. you know, I think I'd like to have more things going on, like dance or something like that. So I did it. I tried. You know, had an open mind, and it was nice to get out with people and all, and it was nice to be outside because it was sunny. So it was just being outside in the sun is like, you know, is aces in my book. So I could be doing whatever, but I would have preferred to be, I don't know, walking or paddleboarding or, you know, doing something a little bit more fast paced. And you know, I did one other yoga class in the past, and I kind of felt the same way too. But I thought, well, maybe I was having a weird night. I'll try it again. So I just don't think it's my exercise of choice, which is fine. A lot of people love it, and so I think that's why I gave it another chance, because so many people love it that I was like, well, I'll give it another try. But I just don't think it's for me. And you know, I noticed that like when I'm like, I don't work with other people very well, and I'm usually working independently. I've always been like that because I don't work at the same pace as other people. And even sometimes stopping to explain something, I get really annoyed if I have to stop and explain something to somebody. I'm an art teacher, isn't that ironic? I don't have a problem with that with like students stopping and explaining things, but like if I'm working with somebody on something, I can get very frustrated, like if they're not going at the same pace that I'm going. And I kind of think that's kind of the thing too. I didn't feel like the pace of where I like to go was the same pace as yoga. I like Zumba. I tried Zumba. That was so fun. I really enjoyed that. I think because things move and you have to constantly be like on your feet and thinking, and you know, not that I'm very good at it. I wasn't any good at it. I was kind of gummy and awkward and stuff, but it was fun. And who cares, you know? But yeah, that's my that's my critique of yoga. But I'm not rating it because I'm not reviewing it because it's not for me. It's like that'd be like me reviewing I don't know, what's something I don't do that's crafty. That'd be like me reading like plastic canvas projects or something. It's like it's not something I do. It's not something that I find, you know, I'm interested in doing, or it'd be like, you know, reviewing latch hooking or some other craft that I don't do that doesn't jive with me. Some things, you know, you've done projects that are just like, yeah, this drives with me, and then other things that just don't. Yeah, so it's been nice to get out of the house, I have to say. And I feel like I haven't gone out of the house much except for these past couple of weeks, like with the endless yard sale 2 weekends ago, and then just going to the book sale and out to lunch. And it's funny because the kids are all busy, so it's like Jason and I are having opportunities now to like go out like we used to before we had kids. So it's kind of like a second honeymoon on our anniversary, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, how often do you get to, you know, feel like newlyweds again after, you know, 20 plus years? I mean, we've been married 20 years, but we've been together 23. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's pretty good. So find your joy in every day, people. Find your joy. Still haven't been back out on the paddleboard because of all the rain, and mostly because the thunderstorm warnings, because it's like you don't want to get out and be in the middle of the pond and then have, you know, a thunderstorm crop up. But I'm hoping to get out because there's a new place I want to take, not a new place, but a place I've kayaked that I want to bring the paddleboard that I think would be much more enjoyable to paddleboard, because when it seems like shallow water is a lot easier to paddle in. And so I want to go check that out. Plus the wildlife is to die for. There's so many like birds and deer and stuff that you can see from the water. So I want to get out there. Not that I'm ever quick enough with my phone or anything to take a picture, but it's still nice to just go and experience and see. And honestly, a lot of times I don't bring my phone with me anyway because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it in the water. Although I do have one of those things that's like a plastic bag, lanyard thing, and it's got like these little locking mechanisms on it, and you can put your phone in it, and you can actually like film underwater with it. It's cool. We got them a couple years ago when we went on vacation, and it was really cool. I took some pictures underwater. I got a cool picture of Lila like underwater with the hair all going and like a snorkel mask on. It was pretty funny. But that's a thought. Hopefully I can find them. Oh my word, I haven't seen those in a while. I probably KonMari'd them. Isn't that the way you KonMari something and then you realize you need it? I'm trying to think. It seemed like there was something this week that like I KonMari'd and then I regretted it. Oh, it was a pizza stone. That's what it was. Because I was thinking I wanted to try grilling a pizza on the grill, and I thought, oh, I'll use the pizza stone, and I couldn't find it. So I'm pretty sure that got KonMari'd when I did that a few years ago. Yeah, I don't know if it would have fit in the grill though, because it was round and not square. So I don't know if that would fit in the grill. I've actually never used the grill. Jason does all the grilling, but you know. I'm very afraid of gas-powered things. Like when we get a stove, we'll get another electric. I don't like gas-powered stoves. They have always made me nervous. I had one in my my first apartment, and I was always so scared that I was gonna leave the gas open or something and blow the place up. So I was just like always very nervous about that. I've never been used to it. We never had gas appliances growing up. So the only time that I've had to deal with gas appliances, and the knobs are right on the front of the stove, and it's like, who designed that? What if children come by and they like play with the knobs and then there's gas everywhere, you know? So it just freaks me out. My kids are older, but still, I don't want any gas appliances. We don't even have propane tanks anyway, so it probably would be a big rigmarole anyway to integrate that. But yeah, always made me nervous. So if we get another one, it will be electric. I do like, we have one of those flat tops, the glass cooktops, and I love those. So I definitely would get another one like that. We were skeptical when we bought it. We didn't know how well they would hold up, but it's been great. They've been very durable. It's so easy to wipe down. And you know, a stove is disgusting. Stoves just get so gross. You get so many crumbs, and you just wipe right off with a rag, and it's good to go. So I would definitely do that again. I would like to find something that's easier to clean, like up above it. And I think probably part of it was just like being first time adult and, you know, not really knowing how to clean properly, and just like, I don't know. I feel like the part up there where there's like a digital clock, and then there's like all the dials you turn for the, you know, the stove and the oven burners and stuff. And the digital clock thing, it just got so gross, just like grease and stuff. And like, so I wouldn't try to, and I would wash it, but it would like press in. That it was like this like plastic, but it was like really flexible. And then and then you couldn't see the numbers stopped showing up. You could see like, you know, it would be like a line and then like a square or something, you know, you couldn't see what time it was or anything like that. So I don't know if it's because like I was cleaning it wrong or what, but it's just, I don't know. I'd like to get something that was like hard plastic that you could really just scrub and it would be fine. Or maybe nothing with no plastic, and just, you know, can I just get a kitchen that you could just hose down? That's what I need. I need a kitchen with a drain in the middle of the floor. You know, like how people, when they have like a lot of dogs, they might have a kennel built at home and they've got like the drain in the floor and they've got like the, I don't know, slate flooring or whatever. That's what I need. I just need like a kitchen that I could just get the hose. I could just spray her down at the end of the day. You squeegee it maybe. I make quite a mess when I cook apparently, but that would be the life, I would think. Because the floors get gross too in the kitchen. And I had to have black and white tiles. I'm like, I love the look of 50s black and white tile kitchen, but we didn't want tile tiles because they can be slippery. And, you know, if kids drop stuff, glass will shatter and stuff. So we got a cushioned linoleum. And it's very comfortable to stand on for long periods of time. And the floor installer was like, you sure you don't want to go with a marble or something like that, marble pattern? I'm like, no, I want stark black and I want stark white. He's like, that's going to show everything. It's going to show any light marks on the dark. It's going to show any dark marks on. I'm like, I want black and white. That's what I want. And he's like, okay. And so I found it. I picked it up, put it in there, and it does show especially on the white tiles. And like, I will mop the floor and I'll be like, don't step on the white tiles, step on the black tiles. And the kids will walk through, they'll go, black tiles, I know. Because the white ones would show everything. I did find a great tip for cleaning those like textured linoleum floors, and it's using the scrubbing bubbles that you'd use in the bath, like the bathtub. And you'll need to do it like twice a year, I'd say. And you just spray that down and you scrub it, and it is like, it's not like you can spray it and wipe it and it's good. You need to spray it, you still need to scrub it, but it just, it really brightens the floor, really looks good. But it's a lot of work. Because generally, like I just go through once a week with it's not a Swiffer, but it's like a Libman power mop. If I can find them, I'll link them. They're great. I don't know if they still make them, but it's like a Swiffer, but it has washable pads on it, and it's got a thing where you put the cleaning, whatever cleaning stuff you want to use, you put that, it's got its own bottle. You can buy separate bottles for it too if you want to have different cleaning things for different stuff, and then you fill it up and you put it in there, so it's completely like everything's reusable. You don't have like the throwaway pads and the throwaway bottles and all that stuff. So I love that. And it is really handy, but it just doesn't, like, it does okay. But it's not going to give you a deep clean. But I do like it because I can use that with my like laminate floor stuff. I can use the pads. What I'll usually do is just take the Bryce floor. No, is it Bryce? No, it's the Bona floor spray. I'll spray down the like the living room floor, and I'll mop that over because you can't get those. You're not supposed to get laminate floors wet. And then I'll go in and I'll use the spray thing and it doesn't take a battery either. So like, you know, the Swiffer, you have to put battery in it. It doesn't take a battery. You just like, it's got a trigger, and it sprays out the stuff. So you don't even have to replace the battery. It is so much greener than a Swiffer. I've been using ours for like, so this is why I don't know if it's still around, maybe 10 years. I don't know, it's been quite a while. And I like it because I can put exactly what I want. I can make my own cleaning products, which is what I usually do, and clean with that and get exactly what I want. So yeah, we've talked about cleaning for 25 minutes and not not crafting. But that's all right, because that's Hat Chat. I hope I actually started recording this twice, so I don't know if I did the disclaimer about this may not have any arts and crafts content whatsoever, but it's Hat Chat, man. It's Hat Chat. I was talking fast. I don't mean to, but I get excited. I get excited about different things. Probably, well, you know, I had that donut last week, so that sugar shouldn't be affecting me. I was reminded of a hairstyle I used to do in high school, and I would take a headband, a bandana, and I would tie it up, and then I would wrap some strands of hair around the edges. And so I decided to do that today because I've got a lot of comments about the bandanas. People are liking the bandanas, and I'm thinking about growing my hair out because I was like, kind of like, Lyle, I need a haircut, and then I was finally kind of like, well, maybe I should just let it grow out. Maybe grow out a bit. I don't know. Because it is convenient if it's long enough that you can like braid it or put it in ponytails or whatever. And I do like to, you know, play with bandanas and stuff like that. And I remember I used to do all kinds of like funky hairdos when I was in high school, like with bandanas. Like I would braid into the bandanas and, you know, tie it up and stuff, and it's kind of fun. And oh, this dress that looks like a tablecloth. I found that in the closet. I hadn't worn it in quite a few years because it didn't fit. And I'm like, oh, I haven't tried that dress since I lost weight a couple years ago, or 2 years ago. And I'm like, I'm gonna give that a try, and it fits. So I was like, oh, sweet. Probably won't if I eat too many more donuts, though. Better watch out. Better watch out. And because, did I tell you about about going to Shakespeare Under the Stars last night? So we went out for our anniversary, and we usually go to $10 Theater Shakespeare Under the Stars. And we went last night, so we picked up sandwiches from Harvest Moon Deli. And I got, oh, you can build your own sandwich. I decided to go my own way and do, all the sandwiches are like, you know, song titles. So I'm like, I'm going to go my own way. And I had like a veggie burger with a bunch of veggies and stuff on rye bread, and it was in a panini press, and it was very delicious. And so we got to the thing, and we were sitting there eating our dinner, waiting for the show to start, and the show started. And then a half hour in, it just like crazy lightning, not like, well, there was thunder, but then it just downpoured, and so they gave us all, like, said we all come to another show, so it was like rained out. So I'm gonna get an extra date night, so I'm excited about that. I'm not sure what show we're gonna go to, but I'm looking forward to that, and then, you know, have to find something else yummy to bring for dinner. So I do have to watch the eating out, I think, because there's been especially with no oven, it's gonna be very easy to justify that. But I'll let you know how that all turns out next week on Sat Chat. For now, thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.